What's up, y'all? Welcome back.
Up, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Today we're gonna start with top 5 NFL running backs. You got the AFC, I got the NFC. You want to start us off today?
Yeah, let's go. I think this list is not as controversial as my list last week with the wide receivers. I'm going to start off hot at number 5, Brees Hall, running back for the Jets. He's my 5th ranked running back. I'm going to go 5-1. This 5 spot was really hard for me. It was between Brees Hall, Kenneth Walker, Chase Brown, all solid running backs. I just think for right now, Brees Hall is in the best situation outside of Kenneth Walker. And Brees Hall is the more well-rounded running back. He's highly productive on the ground as well as in the passing game. And that's pretty much what I factored into my rankings was how productive are they? Are they just a ground and pound? Are they in the receiving game as well? So at number 5, Brees Hall.
It's a good one, man. He's a really solid back. I definitely thought he was going to be leaving the Jets before last season, and I think the overall opinion is if he wasn't with the Jets, he'd be way more productive and probably be valued quite a bit more. But I definitely would have put Kenneth Walker in front of him, just seeing what he did last year. But again, that's a close call. So who did you have next after that?
Number 4, I have James Cook, running back for the Buffalo Bills. Man, these rankings were just so difficult because the running back position there's a lot more talent at that upper echelon in both conferences. But at number 4, I have James Cook. He's a solid running back. He's very versatile. He's very speedy. He is a shapeshifter in the running game, and he does pretty well in the passing game. His production dipped a little bit this season, but ultimately I think he's going to be Josh Allen's top target. I know they just went and got DJ Moore, but you look at that passing game for the Bills, they're more so just spreading it out. So James Cook, he's their bell cow. He's going to make more receptions this year going in for the Bills. And I'm really excited to see what he can do for those Buffalo Bills this season with Josh Allen again.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid pick there. You know, when you pick James Cook every single year, he's going to be productive, right? So I could see you putting him there at 4. As far as just like straight talent goes, I guess I'm a hater. He's not like really at the top of those lists for me. But how can you deny it when he's so productive year in and year out? He's led the NFL in rushing once, if not twice. So he's definitely up there. It's a great pick.
Moving on. Number 3. And I know I said what went into my rankings were the versatility of these running backs. They're dangerous in the passing game, not just the running game. But here we're going against the grain. Derrick Henry, he's the king. How can you not have him in your top 5 rankings? Just what he's been able to do. He's going to be turning 33 in January. So he's pretty old, and I'm really not too worried about his age because of the career and what he's been able to do. It just seems like he gets better with age, like wine. So I love Derrick Henry. He's a workhorse. He is a beast. He's a freak of an athlete. And he is always in contention to lead the league in rushing yards and touchdowns as well. His last 2 seasons with the Ravens, his touchdowns have gone up significantly from when he was in Tennessee. So it's his touchdown productions that he's bringing as well. So I love Derrick Henry, man. I'm a Derrick Henry lover.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the greats in my opinion. I've always been a big fan, just what he's able to do. His consistency and longevity at his size is just something never seen before. So even to see him at number 3 on just the AFC side of this NFL rankings is insane. So that just tells you what he's done as far as his legacy. And like you said, what he's able to do now at 33 is amazing. If anything, it just says a lot about the 2 guys that you're about to name after that. So who do you got?
How are my rankings going so far?
I think way better than last week. I think you're doing pretty good. Like I said, I only disagree with the one at the bottom, which is Kenneth Walker. I probably wait. Who did you have it for?
4 was James Cook, and then 3 was Henry.
Yeah, see, I'm crazy because I would have put Walker above James Cook, but
Right,
I
all
think a
right.
lot more people are going to agree with what you've got.
Well, you're gonna love this next one then. At number 2, Devon A. Chain. I don't know why. There's a lot of people that are just skeptical about his abilities and his skill set, and every year he proves you wrong. He proves people wrong. He's one of the fastest athletes in the league. He's a great pass catcher. With Jalen Waddle gone, who the hell do they have in Miami that is a skill player outside of Devon Achane? They don't have anybody. So if this is any year for him to break out and be the leading running back in the league, this is the year coming up. And I'm kind of spilling some game on my fellow fantasy footballers because I try to keep some of those things close to the chest. But I got to spill the beans on Devon Achane because I'm all aboard the Achane train, and I love what he's been able to do, and I'm really gonna love and be happy to see him go off and have an amazing year this coming year.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. He's definitely someone that's consistently overlooked. I really, when I think about it, thinking like Dak, obviously Dak gets a lot more spotlight, but just I think he's just overlooked consistently year over year, and that's partly due to like a lot of the star power that he's played around, right? He has Tyreek Hill there, who's the fastest player in the league. So whenever you got H in there, that can be overlooked, and then you've got a Jalen Waddle and a lot of these players that he played with who can be explosive as well. So it's easy to overlook him, but he's always there. He's consistent when these guys have been out, hurt, in jail, whatever it is. This guy's here and he's been producing. So I know he's had some injury history in the past, but man, when he's on the field, you definitely see him separate from the other players on the field. So I think it's a solid pick, man. I don't think it's as crazy as you think, but he's definitely higher on your list than what he would probably be on ESPN.
That leaves number one. Can't be no other than Jonathan Taylor. He's the most polished running back in the league. I love the athlete. I do not love seeing him twice a year, being a Texans fan. So, yeah, we got that. He's just so well rounded. He's not super involved in the pass game. He's a purebred runner, and he's been knocking on the league leader for rushing yards last year. I think he did it the year before, though, actually. But he's always at the top of that level on the running game. So depending on the situation with Daniel Jones, his production dipped pretty significantly when Daniel Jones got hurt. So I'm really interested to see how much better he will be this season. What's the dynamic going to be like? But overall, he's the most polished running back, and he's rounding out the top five, coming in at number one for my AFC running back rankings.
Yeah, this guy is the top of the top, like you said. If he's not first in rushing, he's going to be there at two or three. He's just consistent, man. He's going to be there every single year. And he's not only the bell cow, but the lifeblood of that offense over there. So, yeah, I think that's a really good list you got together.
The talent on the NFC is just the running back position is better in the AFC than it was for receivers, but when I was looking at the running backs for the NFC as well, this the NFC is just loaded with talent.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think just when you look at my comprehensive list, looking at yours, I think you can definitely see there's levels, but that could definitely change year to year just at this position. So,
Yeah. What I really want to know is, do you have Javonte Williams in your top five? And we're about to find out.
yeah. So, surprise, surprise, I do not. He's a really good running back, but we just said it. Like, there's just so much talent. So, as much as I like the way he runs, his running style, tough running style, he was definitely in the running for that fifth pick. Ultimately, I'm not probably gonna, I did have Swift over him for the Bears, just what he did for the team last year and what he was able to do with the Eagles. He was a really important part of that offense. So, even though I love what Javonte Williams did for us last year, if I'm really picking a team and saying, hey, who's going to be my number one, I'm probably putting Swift in there above Williams, especially with the injury history. That being said, Swift did not make my top five. He was right there. I did put Josh Jacobs at five. He's really good at the Raiders. I think he's been pretty consistent with the Packers. He's the bell cow for them. He's gonna take the rock. Gets quite a bit of carries over there. Again, I did this with my wide receivers. If I'm starting a team and my choices are Jacob Swift and Javonte Williams, I'm going to pick Josh Jacobs every single time.
That's a surprise pick. I was not expecting you to go with Josh Jacobs' route, but I love it. He's that bell cow. He's just a freaking boulder running in the backfield and running those gaps. So he's a freight train. Reminds me a lot of Derrick Henry in that aspect. He's very reliable. So yeah, I love Josh Jacobs.
All right, I'm going to get killed for this one, but all the way down here, dang near rock bottom at number four, Bijan Robinson. I don't get it. I don't get the hype. He's good, man. There's a lot of flashes, but I still think there's a lot he needs to do to really get that top tier ranking above some of the next guys I'm gonna list. The next guys on the list I feel like have either done a lot more or shown a lot more on tape in the NFL. So yeah, I'm getting crazy looks. What are your thoughts?
Wow, dude. Bijan at number 4. Last week, Puka at number 4. Goodness. Bijan, wow.
You're pretty high up
Well,
on him.
yeah, I'm as high as you can get on Bijan. His production has gone up consistently every year he's been in the league. Last year, I think he had over 2,000 all-purpose yards. I think he and this other guy that I'm thinking of, they're just ascending like crazy. But you said you need to see more from him. So maybe after this year, he'll make you a believer.
Yeah, I doubt it, but I guess we'll see. I just feel like the Falcons need to put him in better positions to be that level that he needs to be. So I love that he has the flashiness and he's trending upward and all this, but for me, like he could only do as well as his surroundings are going to allow him to. So just like Barkley had that ceiling, he's going to have that ceiling until he gets to the right spot or the right changes get made.
Hopefully, Kevin
However,
Stefanski is that good change he needs.
yeah, possibly, possibly. We'll definitely be finding out here soon. But who I have above this is like, man, if this person is 100% healthy, I'm taking them above Bijan Robinson. I'm doing it because this dude's a freaking tank. He's a legend. He's already one of the greats, in my opinion. He's one of the greats. Christian McCaffrey, the 49ers, like, bro, what he did in Carolina, what he's done when he's on the field, it's just insane, man. Like, I think we're forgetting. Like, we just have amnesia, in my opinion. When this dude is healthy and on the field, he is the best football player on the field. Like, I don't know how. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about him. He's just one of the greats. And right now, we're talking about age and the outlook. What is it going to be like in 3 years? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when he's fully healthy. I'm picking this guy. What are your thoughts?
CMC. I had him at number 3 just because of his age, and they used him so much last year. And there's been some talk with Shanahan about maybe dipping his production. But like you said, when he's on the field, he's the best. He's freaking everywhere. Dual threat. He's probably the most dangerous weapon in the passing game as well as the rushing game. So we saw that last year. I think he led the 49ers, which isn't saying much in receptions. I had him in my fantasy team. I took the gamble. The gamble paid off, and he just produced at such a high level. You could always count on him to make those catches, to get those receiving yards, to get those yards on the ground when you needed him. He was a threat in the red zone. He was a threat at the goal line. This past year, he looked like vintage CMC when he was in Carolina in his first year in San Francisco. So, yeah, I love CMC. He's a generational talent, one of this generation's greats, and he's probably going to go down as one of the greats of all time.
Yeah, for me, it came down to that. He's just the best player on the football field when he's healthy for me. So we've just seen him do so many great things. I think he's got a couple more years left in him. So that was my pick. I'm gonna get killed for this next one too. But man, just seeing what he does on the field, yeah, we talked about it with who was it on your side? A Chain, just when you see him running, he just separates himself on that film. You know what I mean? Like you just see the speed difference, his size, the way he runs the ball, in my opinion. I do think he's in a similar situation these past couple years. He hasn't gotten the best opportunity because he's been sharing snaps with someone who's also very good. But it's going to be Gibbs for me in Detroit, man. Just seeing he's just really good and he's a true running back, and I think he has a real ability to be that number one option. Or he was the number one, right? But he's sharing with Montgomery, who's a really good back. You know what I mean? So he's going to be at my number two. I think he's really going to get elevated to this next level here going into this next season. So that's my pick for number two.
If I were to go all in on 2 players in the NFL next year, it would be Devon Achane and it would be Jahmyr Gibbs. With the fact that the guys that they were sharing snaps with are gone, with Jalen Waddle gone from Miami and David Montgomery coming to my Houston Texans. There's nobody stopping these guys from producing crazy numbers and stats that we're going to see this coming year. So I'm so excited and pumped to see what Jahmyr Gibbs can do, because it just seems like last year Campbell just started to kind of loosen the reins on him and let him take over the offense a little bit more. And we saw that as the season went on and on and on, his production went up and up and up and up. And now he has nobody stopping him. He's the only back in that running game, and he's a freaking dangerous person, dangerous man in the passing game as well because of his speed. So, yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs, that's you're not going to get killed for that. He's either going to be a number 1 or number 2. I had him at number 2, so
Yeah, you said it really good there. All that being said, for me, number one was very clear. He's just a freak of nature. He was born to do what he does every single day. We've seen him do some things on the field that it just didn't even seem humanly possible. I'm talking about a backwards hurdle over a person, not just a person, an NFL defensive back. Saquon Barkley, he's just been outstanding everywhere he's been. Penn State to New York. I mean, you're a freaking superstar and playing for the New York Giants in the 2020s, like 2010s. That's insane. And then to go to the Eagles and make a good team, great. Taking them on his back to the Super Bowl and then just continuing to be great this last season. I don't see how anyone else has someone else at number one. So for me, the Barkley Gibbs was just like not even in a question, 1, 2. And then McCaffrey Robinson obviously was a debate. And then that's how it laid out on the bottom half. But at the top of the mountain, I think even when you look over to the other side, as the best running back in the NFL, I don't think anyone's taken anyone else on their team except Saquon Barkley.
really. So you would have Barkley over anyone.
Who'd you have over him?
Well, I would have Bijan Gibbs, Taylor, A-Chain.
That's heresy. What are you talking about? Why? Why do you hate him? What did he do to you?
I don't hate him. I'm surprised with all the love that you
That's
have him being
crazy.
Philadelphia Eagles, man. That's
I
crazy. I guess
mean,
y'all can
he's
put aside your.
great.
He
You're really
is.
blowing me away with
I'm just.
this. You're really blowing me away. That's crazy. Maybe I'm out
I
of touch, man,
am.
but
I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical with him.
he
That's
took them
crazy to
to a
say because
Super
he
Bowl.
still had.
He got
He did.
Jalen
He
Hurts a
did.
Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts. Come on.
Oh yeah, he was. He's running back number 1 that year. This past year though, it was concerning. His production was concerning, that's for sure. But
I mean, everyone's fighting
AJ
in the
Brown's
locker
gone, so
room.
maybe he can get more production and get more of those touches that he missed with AJ Brown in town. So that could be his determining factor, and he could have another great season. So we'll see. I don't know. They did go get Mekhi Lemon in the draft, and what tight end? I can't remember his name. Eli Stowers. So there's I don't know, but maybe he can prove me wrong. You know, we'll see. I love Saquon. I love him. I love Saquon. He's a hell
I
of an
think you do.
athlete.
That's not what it sounds like.
I just saw that highlight pop up a couple days ago where he just was the sideline view of him hurdling a defensive end or linebacker or defensive back, whoever it was, just hurdling backwards. That's insane. And to see it from that point of view, like that's never ever happened in the league. And he did it.
Yeah, just insane. So those are our top fives. Now we're going to talk about our most exciting player for each of our favorite teams. For you, you said that's the Jaguars, or
Jaguars.
and then I'm going to be doing the Dallas Cowboys. So you go ahead and start it off. Who do you got?
Okay, let me draw the poop emoji right quick on my sheet over here. All right, so I'll go ahead and start us off. The player I'm most excited for this coming season for the Texans, it is going to be David Montgomery, Mr. Knuckles, coming from Detroit. This guy has been sharing the workload. He's been tied down all of his career. When he was in Chicago with the Bears, he was sharing the workload. And then he got to Detroit. And guess who is sharing the workload up in Detroit? Jahmyr Gibbs, one of the most premier running backs in the league. And it seemed like, I touched on it earlier, how Campbell was kind of loosening the reins on Jahmyr Gibbs last year. And it was, as the season got on, it got pretty obvious. And when Jahmyr Gibbs was ascending, it kind of started the exit for David Montgomery. He is a running back 1 in the league, but when you're sharing the backfield with Jahmyr Gibbs, it's hard. It's hard to be that running back 1 status. So he's coming to Houston. Guess what? We don't have a Jahmyr Gibbs. We don't have anybody nowhere near that, of that talent, of that skill set. There's nobody. he's really competing against no one outside of Woody Marks, but he's a complimentary back. So he gets to be that bell cow for the Houston Texans. And this is, we've been missing this for over a decade. It's been close to 15 years since we've had a running back that I've been this excited for. Yeah, we had Joe Mixon, but that we all know how that went. That season that he was there with us, when he was actually playing, he missed 5 or 6 games, almost half the season. And then last year, just a super mysterious situation with him and his ankle, and he didn't participate in anything, didn't show up at all whatsoever. So the Houston Texans faithful, we know we're super pumped. We're very excited for David Montgomery because we have not seen a running back that can relieve so much pressure off of our quarterback and our offense and just set up our whole offense for success since Arian Foster era in the early 2010s. What that guy did for Houston, wow. So I'm super pumped to see what David Montgomery can do, and hopefully he can do anything close to that, if not better, for the fans, for Houston, for that offense. It's just when you have a running back that can relieve a lot of pressure, especially off of CJ Stroud, that's going to do wonders for him and his production, and hopefully he can elevate his game as well.
Yeah, if I was in your position, that would definitely be my number one most exciting player. We talked a lot about what Jameer Gibbs did in Detroit, but man, what David Montgomery was able to provide, just that powerful running that he provides, right? Even just like he's not the biggest running back, but man, he just runs through people, he runs through the play, and he knows how to finish a play. So dude's just a beast. It's like he's the meanest player on the field whenever he's running the ball. So yeah, that's definitely something I'd be looking forward to. I'm definitely jealous about the running back situation in Houston for sure.
Yeah, he fits our culture so perfectly.
All right, now I'm gonna go into mine. It's not gonna be as long as yours, just because I'm not too much analytical about my picks. It's really just about feel. I really just go off the vibes, you know? That's what's good about this. You're really based, and I'm just kind of going off the vibes over here. Obviously, I'm gonna go with the easy one, man. I'm gonna go with Caleb Downs. Let's talk about it some more since we haven't talked about it enough every time you have me talk about the Cowboys, but it's really simple. We're in a really simple situation. Our offense is great, our defense is shit. When you take a good player from college, for sure going to be good. Just that's what you're most excited about. It's really simple. You ask me who's the player you're most excited about going into this year, the person that's going to make our defense not shit. That's who I'm more excited about. So, Caleb Downs, he has the ability to be the field general to really change the culture, at least from the defensive side. Hopefully, we're putting a lot on his shoulders, counting on him to be a leader. That's probably a pretty lofty aspirations, right? So let's talk about him just being a good, productive piece this year. That's all we can really ask for. But going 2, 3 years into this, he really has a big role to fill. You know what I mean? This team, I know they want to win now, but you can't do anything with that defense. So letting go of Micah Parsons, getting in Malachi Lawrence, Quinnen Williams, Kenny Clark, you're really putting these pieces in on the defensive line to fill that gap, which is exciting. But once you get into that defensive back position, a couple guys who have been there for you don't know if they're going to return to true form. And then a couple guys that we let go who are really integral parts of the defense. And so it's completely almost all the way different defense for us right now. So that's exciting seeing how terrible they were. And it just really lays out why he's the most exciting player for me. He has the biggest chance to make the biggest impact on this team. Ultimately, a lot of the players on the offensive side don't had that chance because the offense was great last year. So when we talk a defensive player, we talked about Malachi Lawrence probably being a reach. He's not going to make that for me. The next player on that list probably would have been Quinnen Williams. I know we saw him play last year, but I really feel like he was still coming in to something new. You know, I think in his sophomore season in Dallas, he can make a really big difference here and really show his true form, right? And run stopping ability. So outside of that, it was a no brainer. It's going to be Downs.
Very well said. Very well said. That defense was atrocious last year. The people that they brought in, Quinnen Williams, Malachi Lawrence from the draft, Kenny Clark, that defensive front is looking a lot better than they did last year. and then Overshown, you got him as well. So that defensive front is solid, man. You just need some help on that back end, and they went and got Caleb Downs, and it just seems like everything's kind of falling back into place for the Cowboys, and hopefully Jerry doesn't find a way to mess it up. But defense is in a lot better position than they were last year, and they went and got that new defensive coordinator whose his scheme just fits perfectly for Caleb Downs and what they want to do with them. So he is, like you said, he's going to be that field general. He sets that tone on the defensive backs. So yeah, I'm very excited. I think that Caleb Downs, he has all the intangibles to be that leader for the Cowboys, and not just that defense, but the whole Cowboys team in general. It's something that they need. They need that youthful spark to them to really get them going to that next level. So yeah, I love Caleb Downs, man.
All right, we're ready to get into some UFC. Let's recap UFC Freedom 250, man. We got a lot to talk about. I think first we just give our thoughts of the event, how we felt about it, and then I think we just go recap these 7 fights. I think each one of them deserves our attention to touch on it. What were your thoughts about the event?
This was a one of one event, man, and it's hard to like really acknowledge that and be grateful for it up until the moment that it kicks off and you just see the spectacle that it is and that it's becoming. Seeing the pre-fight talks and celebrations and everything that they did. The live music, I wasn't feeling it at the beginning, I'm not gonna lie. Like the covers were not it. But as the night went on and their walkout songs were covered by the band that was there, the incredible band that was there, it just you really get into it and you're really vibing with it. And the fights did not disappoint. The most important part of the whole night was the fights. And we had 7 KOs. Every single fight ended in a KO. So it was just, it's one of those moments, man, where you really can't make it up and you can't script it any better. And how it ended with Justin Gaethje, just the top underdog, beating those odds is just, and doing it in front of the White House. Wow. If that doesn't set the example of what America is to the whole world, then I really don't know what could.
Yeah. I mean, it was just it couldn't have gone any better. What my expectations were for it was pretty high because I know when Dana puts his mind to something, it's going to be great. Just like the Sphere, just like all other things he's done. So I had high expectations for it, and I really think they exceeded it, man. Just a perfect execution. Going into it, like a lot of people, some people were frowning upon it and stuff like that, looking at it Democratic, Republican type of way. My view of it was just kind of not of that, just but as USA as a whole and what we've shown our values are over the past couple years with all the stuff that's been going on in Gaza or the files, the stuff like that kind of gets not talked about. And it's just kind of like, hey, let's not pay attention to the war, this stuff. Let's pay attention to this UFC Freedom event. But man, whenever you're just separating it from that and looking at it just from the UFC standpoint and what they were able to put on, and it's you just felt patriotic, man. There's no way to say about it. You still feel like this is the greatest country in the world where people can really change their lives and be something and strive to be a better person. And I think the event was a really good showing of the American spirit and what the good values and the good things are in this country, right? And I think those things and those opportunities to see that nowadays are going farther and few in between. So it was really good to see Americans be able to come together and put this on and have this really good patriotic showing outside of the politics and all the other stuff that goes with it. The live music, I'll touch on that. I loved it. Like you said, it took me a while to get used to, but man, they showed out, especially Sean O'Malley's when he was walking out to his entrance and they were performing that live. I was like, man, the vibes are vibing. But let's take it from the bottom. Diego Lopez versus Steve Garcia. Definitely thought this one was going to be closer. Diego Lopez is just a freaking dog, man. If Alex Volkanovski is not there, he's the champ, and he'd probably be the champ for a while. You know what I mean? He's a dog. Steve Garcia is no slouch, man. He is a real contender, and he's tough. So to be able to knock him out to finish that guy, all the props to Diego Lopez, and he isn't leaving the top 3 in that division anytime soon. He's a problem anyone he goes against. So I don't know if he'd consider moving up, but it doesn't seem like Volkanovski's going anywhere in the near future. So it's just interesting to see where Diego Lopez is going to take it next at this point in his career. He's got a lot of hype around him now, even more than before, and that's crazy after losing 2 title fights. So I think he has a real opportunity to shoot for the stars here.
Yeah, you said it, man. Just when that's the first fight of the night and it ended with a knockout, I knew that we were in for something absolutely beautiful. It was going to be a beautiful night, going to be a beautiful card. Diego was really not controlling that first round, and into the second round, he was struggling a little bit. He was hesitating on some things until he wasn't, and it's just a matter of the fact that all it takes is one move, one swing, one piece of the chessboard, just move it over slightly, and it's checkmate. And that's exactly what he did with Garcia. He hit him with one strike, and that was all she wrote. And he took advantage of it and finished him with a KO. So it's very exciting. I love Diego. He's becoming one of my favorite fighters. And ultimately, I feel like the decision is easy. It should just go ahead and be a rematch with Volkanovski. I don't know who else is in that division outside of Volkanovski and Diego. So what the hell do I know? But I think he, like you said, he doesn't deserve to be anything lower than number two. So having that rematch with Volk would be awesome.
Next, we had Bo Nickel versus Kyle Dawkins. If we had a ranking of the fights that we were excited to see, this was definitely at the bottom for me. Bo Nickel's always exciting whenever he gets out there. I just really didn't hold Kyle Dawkins in a high regard, so it wasn't a big surprise to me, but it's a really good spot once again for Bo Nickel to be in. He always finds himself on these really big cards. He has high favor with the UFC brass, so they always put him in a nice big public spot, and they're expecting to get their return on that investment here in the next coming year. So coming back, Bo Nickel, perfect showing for him. It really couldn't have gone any better for him. I don't really have much to add on that one. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know what his nickname is in the UFC, but to me, it's the Dominator. Based off of this fight, he just dominated Dawkins, and that was that. Looked super powerful. This looked like his fight. He controlled every aspect of it. He looked like the more powerful striker, more powerful fighter, more experienced fighter. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. Go Bo.
Sounds good. Next, we had Mauricio Rufy versus Michael Chandler. Man, this was one sad to see. I think we said last time that if he lost this one, it's time to hang it up. And not only did he lose, but it showed his age. Talking about Michael Chandler, man. It's hard to see these legends go out. He's not a legend of just the UFC, but MMA as a whole, being champion in Bellator for multiple time champion, and then just what the fights he's been able to produce here in the UFC, man. Coming into it, man, he was what, 36 years old, 35, coming to the UFC. And you're like, man, does this guy have anything left? And he truly made the most of his opportunity at the latter part of his career. He's 40 years old now. What he's done in his short time of the UFC has been amazing, dude. So props to him. I don't know if he hangs it up, but it's getting to the point. If he takes a couple more losses like this where he is just too tough for his own good, again, if he does continue fight, hopefully he turns it around, strings a couple of win or two and out of the game. But the fact that he was talking about trying to get back into title contention before this fight just has me concerned that he's not moving in that direction anytime soon. So, only time will tell. I'm definitely rooting for him though. And Mauricio Rufy, he's just everything as advertised, man. He's fast. He looks like a freaking ninja in there, bro. If there's anyone that looks like Bruce Lee in the UFC right now, it's this dude. Just with the kicks and everything, the heel kicks. It's just insane. He looks like a ninja out of a movie. He has a real opportunity to be a champion in this organization. So the hype is real for this guy. So it'll be exciting to see what he can do.
Yeah, I love Rufy coming up. He just he's one of those fighters that just his demeanor says it all. He just looks so calm and in control, and he brings the skill set with it and the power with it, and he's like a shark in water. That's what he looked like in the ring the other night. And unfortunately, the fish in the water that he was attacking was Chandler. It sucked seeing Chandler go down like that, and he's a competitor. He's going to be a fighter until he just can't do it anymore. And it was tough to watch one of the greats in this generation just see Father Time catch up with him. And him go down like that with those heel kicks, it's hard to watch. But props to Rufy. He's one of the better fighters coming up into the UFC, and he has a man. He can get a title fight. He looks like he can. Not the
Sure.
next fight, but coming soon.
Definitely, that's a safe bet. Yeah. So next we've got Tokit versus Derek Lewis. Man, this is another one back to back. The legends. I'm sure we're gonna see Derek Lewis back in here again, but man, he's just not there at the top five for me. If he strings together a couple more wins, that'd be great. I think he's not a top 10 fighter at this point in his career, and that's saying a lot because heavyweight definitely isn't stacked. Yeah, it's really top heavy, but I think he's getting paid pretty well, so he's going to keep fighting. But man is in his 40s at this point, so it's just hard to see him fight these top five fighters. It just doesn't really turn out for him. Good for him at this stage in his career. Being said, Josh Hoke looked really good. He looked slower than his normal self. He did fight twice in the last 2 months. That's probably a part of it. At the end of the day, he got the job done right. It seemed like he was playing with his food towards the end there a little bit. Josh Hokett, yeah, he just brings a fight every single time he steps into the cage. So it's really exciting when we're talking about, and I'm strictly talking about what he's doing in the cage. Now, when we get what he's doing on the mic, it was, oh man, I hated the weigh in fake throw up thing. Like, that stuff just pissed me off. Like, it's just really like making a mockery of it. Like, who's really enjoying that stuff, watching it? Is it just so we talk about it? If so, mission accomplished. I'm never gonna like that part. I'm never gonna grow fond of it. But what he did after the fight, really just being honest, thank you Jesus. Like, it's amazing to see. Relieving to see him really break character and just be normal. He almost did it. He had to drop that one in there at the end about Michelle Obama. I won't get into all of that jazz, but yeah, just strictly what he did inside the cage is impressive. I don't think he was his best self in there, but I think when he gets a higher level opponent in front of him in this next couple fights, he'll have a full training camp and be rested and well. It's a definite. Derek Lewis is a killer, right? He has that one punch power, but when you're looking at fighting a Cyril Gahn next or Alex Pereira or someone like that, Josh Hokett's definitely gonna probably step it up.
Yeah, he's asking for it too, and I hope he gets it.
Mhm.
Especially Cyril Gahn, Alex Pereira, Tom Aspinall. I hope they knock his lights out. I really do. I really, really do. He needs a whole slice of humble pie. And it's really hard for me to appreciate his fighting style just because of the fact that he's just such a freaking jerk, man. And I'll get to the point where I can just appreciate what he does in the ring and how he fights. But even then, he like spoils it for me because he's just so disrespectful to the greats and disrespectful to the other fighter and the opponent that he's going against. So I think he sold his soul for fame, and that's what it's looking like. For me, this was a really big opportunity for him to kind of step away from that and really showcase who he is as a person and why you should become a fan of his. And what did he do? He just used some destructive behavior. And then to kind of dampen the load of that destructive behavior, he went and said, "Thank you, Jesus, my Lord and Savior." And I just think that's really hypocritical of him to do. If he's really a Christian and if he's really somebody who loves Jesus like he said he did, he would not be acting the way that he's acting, regardless of if it gets him more money or gets him more visuals for his career. Like, no, get out of here with that. So that's all I got to say for Josh Hokett. I'm hoping he actually is interested in Jesus and Jesus can turn him around. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Ultimately, we're gonna see a lot of Josh Hokett here coming soon in the UFC because it doesn't look like that train is stopping anytime soon. UFC is definitely at the point where good press, bad press is it's just all good press for them. So next we had Sean O'Malley versus Amin Zahabi. O'Malley pretty much had to get a KO against this guy. He just looked extremely punchable, if that makes any sense. I don't know. It's just like O'Malley, you got to think at his age, he's still got plenty of left in the tank. He's been fighting top level contenders for the past 3-4 years. Amin Zahabi, he has a 7 fight win streak, but it's not a crazy list of guys, right? His best win is probably against Jose Aldo, and Jose Aldo is coming out of retirement fighting this guy. So O'Malley was a great knockout. Am I spoiled if I say I wish it was a cooler knockout? Like his lights didn't go all the way out, but it's like, come on, man! Like he knocked him out. He stopped the fight and did the salute as the guys falling to the ground. I got to give him his props. I really want to see that Peter Yan fight next. He won. Peter Yan's one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. He's just a beast. And that was probably Sean O'Malley's hardest, most exciting fight besides Marab. Marab was dominating in the first in the second one he was dominating. In the first one there, he had his moments, Sean O'Malley, but the Peter Yan fight was just an all-out war, man. So it's going to be really exciting to see that version of Sean O'Malley versus the guy who gets to sit on the outside and kind of jab and throw his punches here and there. Peter Yan really drug him into a war, and that's the Sean O'Malley I want to see.
Yeah, Sean O'Malley's starting to get revived in his fighting career, like in real time. And he really needed that KO. He got it. Yeah, we are spoiled because the knockout wasn't the coolest except for the salute, but he did punch that guy's lights out, and I'm very happy that he did. Not just because I love Sean O'Malley and I want him to get back to that prime vintage style fighter that he is, but just the fact that Zahabi's coming out with the Canadian anthem, blasting that
He's
thing.
asking for it.
Like exactly, he's asking for it. You don't come to the White House blasting the Canadian national anthem. Hell no, you're gonna get your lights knocked out. And that's exactly what O'Malley did. So it was very refreshing and great to see O'Malley get that KO. Not just for that reason, but just because it sets up to go see him and Peter Yan go at it again. And what kind of fight that would be, it would be amazing, man.
Now it's time for me to eat some crow here. Let's get into it. Alex Pereira versus Cyril Gahn. Gahn, I knew he was a really good fighter. I knew it. He's fought at heavyweight. He's a true heavyweight. But Alex Pereira, the man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only. Only three people get called the only on their pre-fight announcements by Buffer, and it's John Jones, Conor McGregor, and Alex Pereira. That there's a reason for that. It's because these guys, they come with the aura, like are their brand outside of the UFC at this point. And for Alex Pereira to already have won two division titles, dude won a title at 175 pounds, and he's there at heavyweight at the White House fighting for a third belt at 251 pounds. Like, that is unheard of. 175 to, or 185 to 250, it's just insane. So for him to even be in that situation, like just what this man is, what his aura is, there's no way he's going to go in here and lose, right? But man, Cyril Gahn had to answer for everything. If it wasn't the jabs and the quick punches, it was the illegal elbows to the back of the head. Man, one thing Cyril Gahn is gonna do is to get those illegal blows in. So that's one thing I did not factor in. I thought about the eye pokes, but that's how you know he has good coaching. He's like, oh, they're gonna expect the eye pokes, so I'm gonna go elbows to the back of the head. Yeah, yeah, they're not gonna see that coming. And Alex Pereira, he came out, made a big deal about it. They were blatant, man, and it wasn't like two or three. It was like, go back and watch the film. It's like 20 of them mugs, like straight to the back of the head, and Herbstein's just like staring at it, like, yes, this is good. Like, what is going on? Anyways, aside from the elbows to the back of the head, he looked really good in there. He looked like a problem for anyone, whether it be Tom Aspinall, John Jones, whatever. Like, he looked really good. That being said, John Jones went in there and finished this guy in what, 30 something seconds, like something ridiculous. So the John Jones Alex Pereira fight is dead. Really, the question is Cyril Gahn versus John Jones or Cyril Gahn versus Tom Aspinall. What were your thoughts on the fight?
Well, outside of the illegal elbow punches, and there was plenty of them, it was very shocking. I was not coming into this fight expecting to see Alex Pereira get knocked out in the beginning of the second round. I was not expecting that, so my jaw dropped. My chin was hanging on the ground, bro. I could not believe what I was watching. And thinking back on that fight, Alex was looking, regardless of what he's been able to do, he was looking slow. And that's what the news leading up to the fight was saying, and that's what people were saying. And it ended up being true. Alex just looked a little slow, but he's still Alex. I still believe in him. What he's been able to do, two titles in the short time that he's been in the UFC. I don't know. I think that he's probably going to stay at the heavyweight division, especially since Hokett said some disgraceful things towards his mom. I think Alex is going to want something. He's going to want some blood for that. But ultimately, that was probably the most surprising fight of the night for me, just how it ended, how it went. So it'll be interesting to see what's next for Cyril Gahn. He looked, like you said, a true heavyweight fighter. So I'm excited to see that next fight with him and Tom Aspinall, John Jones. Who's it going to be?
Next, we had Gaethje versus Taporia again. Man, we are talking about here, in my opinion, the biggest upset in UFC history. Insane. This is bigger than Sean Strickland versus Hamzat. This is bigger than Sean Strickland versus Izzy. Props to him for having one of the two biggest upsets of all time. And then this is bigger, in my opinion, because it was at the White House, than Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm, which was another insane upset. Dude, talk about a 5-1 underdog, undefeated fighter, two division champion, and Ilya Taporia looks undefeatable, bro. Just the power in his hands. Like there's no hole in his game except this guy gets hit. He gets hit, but he takes the punches. Like you know what I mean. Gets hit to land his shots. So you knew he was gonna land, but what you didn't take into account was like Justin Gaethje hits like a freaking Mack truck, bro. And so those jabs he was throwing, and maybe it was the size difference. I mean, I'm sure that compounds on it as well. Just like every time he touched him, you saw it, you felt it. You know what I mean? And Habib said it. Gaethje was the hardest hitting fighter he ever fought. Dustin Poirier said the same thing. Like, and so really we just didn't take it into account. But like he was landing jab after jab, and I'm just sitting here waiting for Ilya to turn it on. I'm like, all right, he's gonna get him here. He's gonna get him here. And then he landed the body shots. I was like, yeah, yeah. Now he's getting them. And then Gaethje gets up and he's like, man, he's got good body shots. And then just gets back in there the next round and just continues to start smashing on the dude is like insane. Like American hero to the highest regard, man. Like surprise the world, backflip off the top of the octagon at the White House, like the belt, everything was like you could not write it better if you were at the UFC and all this shit was scripted. You could not write it better for like to end it there, and that just set the tone not only for Gaethje's career but the entire event. Like Gaethje at this point has achieved every single milestone in his career to finally win that undisputed title at this 37 years old, man, going through the gauntlet he's gone through. Poirier fights, the Habib fight, the Oliveira, the like Islam, just like all the crazy stuff he's had to endure to like finally have this victory, man. It's insane. Amazing the way he did it. Like I would have thought if he did this, it was gonna be a freaking knockout. Just the way he broke him down, man. And he just didn't take into account like Gaethje lives for this. He lives for these awards, right? And Ilya's never been put in that environment. Like, and Gaethje said that after the fight. Like he's never had to like fight through the blood in his eyes. Like he's never had to do that. I do that every time I step out there. You know what I mean? Like, and so just the body language of Ilya Taporia throughout the fight when he's landing him, I'm like, wait, he's not like hurt, is he? Like, I know he can't like see or anything, but like he's good, right? And then the doctor comes in is like, nah, he's good, and the ref's like, no, he's not. He's good. He can fight. And it's like, what's going on? And then he goes back out there and makes him retire on his stool, bro. It's like, what is going on? Like for Ilya Taporia to go out like that, bro. No moss on his stool. Like this is unheard of after all the shit he was talking, bro. You at least gotta like get hit and take a knee during the round or something, but to quit on your stool, bro, is unheard of. And I was concerned that after that he's gonna retire, like just knowing how he is, but he's saying he's gonna come back is like, okay, that makes me feel better. But I thought he was gonna retire at that point because how do you retire on your stool like that? I'm no fighter, but just the culture and everything, he's gonna be hearing that for the rest of his life. I know that was a little long, but I got a lot to say. I could keep going, but I'm gonna let you get your piece in.
I'll say a little something and you keep going, bro, because I love it. Hey, I called it. I bet on, well, legally, I did not make an actual bet, but I was going, if I had money, I would bet on Justin Gaethje. He was my pick, the underdog pick, and he performed. There was really no doubt in my mind, except for when he had those liver shots, man. I was like, oh man, this might be the beginning of the end in the second round. And then Taporia just seemed like he gave it his all on the ground and tried to get a submission over him. And after that, it just, yeah, he was getting peace, but he was still in there. They were swinging at each other. They were going at it. It was just a freaking battle, a freaking war. And then after that, it just looked like he just ran out of gas. And now he's in a dogfight now, and you're in Justin's you're in Justin's pin now because he does this fight in and fight out. So he's used to it. He knows what to expect. He's been through it. He's been through all that adversity and all that pain and all that stuff you got to go through in the fight. And Taporia has it. And to see Taporia get pieced up like that is, it's like, wow. It's genuinely very shocking and surprising to see. Even when you have faith in the other fighter, it's still crazy to see when somebody of his caliber to really struggle like that. And for him to, that whole situation in the third round and in the fourth round was all really weird. They gave him a whole ass extra minute, dang near, to recuperate and get his strength back. But at the same time, Gaethje still got, he was able to get that time to recuperate as well. But Poirier had all the excuses to come back in that fight, and he just couldn't do it. He got beaten down physically and mentally. And for Justin to go in and win for the U.S. and just to set that tone, to set that example in front of the White House and in the White House lawn, it was, man, I'm never gonna forget those fights, and I'm especially never gonna forget that fight. That's the best fight I've ever seen, greatest fight I've ever seen. Just the maulers, just the going at it. It was a freaking battle. It was a freaking war. You could feel it in the air. You could feel it through the TV screen, and it was electric, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, I think we really can't say that enough. The energy was just off the charts. The bonuses are normally what, 50, 70K, freaking $425,000 bonuses. I mean, if that's what you got to do to get fights like that every time, then I think it's worth it, man. I'm not by no means no advisor for $1 billion company, but man, it's just a different level what you're able to get out of those guys. But yeah, Justin Gaethje, man, it's just like I can't say it enough. Dude was already one of the greats. He is way up there now. He just changed the way that he's viewed across the board. He is now an undisputed champion and took out a complete legend in Ilia Topuria, someone we really thought was unbeatable. And it really just goes to show, like, any given day, bro, like anything can happen if you believe in yourself, trust in yourself, and trust the process. Like, the amount of times you can imagine he did not want to get up and go to the gym or go into this fight or battling through injuries. Dude just kept showing up every single day of his life and is able to reach this level. I'm not going to go into all the stuff, the back and forth with Sean Strickland. I'm going to ignore all that stuff and strictly at his career and what he's able to produce in the ring. And there's no denying, like, dude is just a dog, and he just encompasses what the UFC brand is and hopefully will continue to be. And it's always going to be that spot for these dogs who might not have a home in boxing, might not have a home in football or anything like that, but they're able to find something where all you have to have is heart and will and determination, and at any given time you can be champion of the world.
Brother.
All right, I think it's a perfect time now for our triumphant moment. That was UFC 250. Let's get into it. Who do you got?
Who else? Who else? We just spent 5 minutes talking about him. Justin Gaethje, come on now. I'm not going to say too much more. The mental fortitude that he has, that this man has, the set of principles, the set of standards that he lives by, to be counted out, especially in this fight, 5-1, 6-1 odds. And he just went in there, first 5 seconds, first 10 seconds, he gave him a quick jab, straight up the middle, popped him in the nose and the eye, and that was all she wrote. And that set the tone for the rest of the fight. I truly believe that set the tone. He attacked him first thing. He wasn't waiting for Topuria to go after him. No, he was setting the tone, and it was beautiful to see, man. And I love Justin Gaethje, who he is. He's this great example of what America is. We don't give up no matter what the odds are, and we're going to show up every day, whether we like it or not, whether we want to or not. We're going to show up. We're going to compete. We're going to be our best version of ourselves. And man, Justin Gaethje, triumphant moment all the way.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy There's no way you can pick anyone else. That was going to be my pick. So I'm going to use my 30 seconds. I'm going to use my 30 seconds for something else. I'm going to change it up a bit. Hear me out. Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier. They're 1-1. They're 1-1. Poirier's last loss against Islam, right? Is against Islam the champ. Islam moved up. Dustin, he could get him one right here. Like, if anything, we just saw Justin Gaethje defy all the odds. We can't. You're telling me the Diamond can't come in here? One more fight, man, and he doesn't have a chance against Justin Gaethje. Come on, like we. If there's any reason, I don't think he should have came back for Islam, but for Justin Gaethje, they're 1-1. He caught him with a head kick in their last fight not too long ago. I want to see it. Justin Poirier, he has a real chance here. So it's probably not going to happen, but that's my pitch. I'll just leave it there.
That would it's crazy. It just what Justin Gaethje with one fight, one fighter can change the whole trajectory of the short term
Yep.
version of the whole UFC and the tidal waves that would create. Man, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, there's plenty of people waiting in the wings. Armin Sarukian and a bunch of stuff. Charles Oliveira wants a rematch for the BMF and all that good stuff. That's all fine and good, but when we're talking about the diamond, bro, like that's a war, man. So that's what I want to see. I get a lot of hate for that. People are like, probably like, let Justin be. He got, or Dustin B. He just got new teeth and he's on TV giving his thoughts on fight and stuff like that. I don't care. I want to see him win a title, bro. So that's my thoughts. Not a triumphant moment. Switched it up a bit, but that's pretty much what we've got for this week, man. Want to close this out?
All right, y'all go ahead and drop us a follow, drop us a like on YouTube and Facebook. See y'all in the next one.
See y'all.